What if the only way to get her attention was to disappear? Not to play games, not to spark jealousy, but because you finally realized the only power you ever had was your presence, and she lost it. She left, thinking you'd spiral. She expected a storm, text after text, late-night breakdowns, maybe even an emotional outburst. That's what most guys do. They beg, they chase, they bleed. But you went silent, and that silence, that was the loudest thing she'd ever heard. No contact isn't about punishing her. It's about saving you. It's the moment a man stops trying to convince someone to love him and starts remembering what he brings to the table. When you go quiet, you force her to sit with the echo of her choices. And believe me, that echo gets louder every day you stay gone. She thought you'd be easy to replace. She thought her absence would wreck you. Nope. You chose stillness over suffering, discipline over desperation, silence over self-destruction. That's what separates a man drowning in emotion from one who rises with purpose. A Stoic man doesn't scream to be heard. He becomes so composed they can't stop watching. You're not ghosting. You're leveling up. You're not playing hard to get. You're becoming hard to forget. And while she's scrolling through your socials, rereading your last words, wondering why it feels so damn empty without you, you're not even thinking about her anymore. That's when you've won. If you're done being the one who always reaches out, if you're ready to become the silence that haunts her, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My absence is my answer. Number 1. She wasn't expecting silence. She was ready for drama, ready for the usual breakdown, the 2 a.m. Please just talk to me, text, the over-apologizing, the long message that starts with, I just want to understand what went wrong. That's what she expected, because that's what always happens, not just from you, from every man before you. She pulls away and they panic. She detaches and they start performing. It's a pattern, one she counted on. But this time, something broke that cycle. You. Because when you went silent, when you didn't react, didn't plead, didn't even flinch, you shattered the mirror she was trying to see herself in. Her power depended on your pain. Her sense of control came from your need for her. And when all of that suddenly disappeared, she didn't know what to do with the silence. It wasn't just unexpected. It was terrifying. This kind of silence isn't passive. It's not the same as running away. It's calculated. It's cold. Not because you're bitter, but because you've finally put boundaries around your peace. When a Stoic man gets quiet, it's not because he's lost. It's because he's found his center. He's conserving energy, rebuilding identity, learning how to hold the line without explaining the line. You're not giving her the show she wanted. You're not offering updates, emotional breadcrumbs, or dramatic gestures. You've become still, focused, controlled. And that silence, it echoes. It makes her second-guess everything. Why isn't he reacting? Has he already moved on? Was I not as important to him as I thought? She starts watching, quietly. Maybe she likes your new post without saying anything. Maybe she views your story but doesn't reply. Maybe she starts posting more of herself, hoping you'll break the silence first. That's not coincidence. That's surveillance. And it all starts because you didn't give her what she expected. What she wanted was proof that she still mattered. What she got was the cold realization that maybe, just maybe, she never had the grip she thought she did. Silence isn't weakness. It's war without blood. And right now, you're winning. Number 2, pain is the path to power. The heartbreak hit you like a freight train. You didn't eat, you didn't sleep. You replayed every moment, every word, every sign you missed. You were raw, broken open, exposed. And for a while it felt like she took a part of you with her, But here's the truth most men never hear. That pain you're feeling, that's not your enemy. That pain is your invitation to power. You see, Stoicism doesn't teach you to avoid pain. It teaches you to face it, sit with it, and absorb it without flinching. The pain is the forge, the place where illusions get burned off and a stronger man is cast. Most guys try to escape heartbreak by running into someone else's arms, by numbing out with distractions, with attention, with cheap highs. But you're doing what 99% of men don't have the balls to do. You're standing in the fire. You're letting it change you. This is where emotional control is born, not when everything's calm, but when your world is falling apart and you refuse to beg for someone to rebuild it. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about choosing not to act on temporary emotion. That's discipline. That's masculine energy. That's stoic resolve. And here's the twist. While you're silently suffering, something unexpected starts happening. You start waking up earlier. You hit the gym with more purpose. You reflect deeper. You read more. You start creating instead of reacting. You begin to realize that the pain she left you with became the fuel. And that fuel is turning into fire. The kind of fire that builds empires. Meanwhile, she's still living in the story where you're stuck. She doesn't see the man you're becoming yet. But she will. Because every day you choose progress over pity, she becomes part of your past, not your purpose. This pain? It's temporary. But the version of you it creates, that man will outlast everything. Number 3. The mind games stop here. She pulled away, then she came close again, just enough to confuse you. A like here, a hope you're doing okay text there. Nothing solid, just breadcrumbs, little hits of dopamine to keep you emotionally invested while she explored her options. That's not love. That's control. That's manipulation dressed up as care. And it stops now. This is the phase where most men get played, where the mind games intensify. Hot and cold, mixed signals, sudden interest followed by radio silence. It's all designed to keep you in limbo, not because she wants you back, but because she doesn't want to fully lose you either. She wants to know you're still there, orbiting her, just in case her new path doesn't work out. You're her backup battery, her ego boost, her just in case. But here's what she wasn't ready for. A man who sees the game and refuses to play. A man grounded in stoic clarity. A man who knows that chasing confusion is self-betrayal. You're no longer responding to breadcrumbs. You're not decoding mixed messages. You're not mistaking random attention for genuine care. Because once you've tasted emotional chaos, peace becomes non-negotiable. This is where dark psychology becomes your ally. You're not manipulating, you're mirroring. If she gives you silence, you give her silence back. If she's vague, you stay distant. But not out of spite, out of discipline. Because when you stop validating bad behavior, you break the reward loop. And when the reward disappears, the game collapses. She thought she could toy with you emotionally and you'd still show up loyal. But nope, not anymore. You've shifted. You're not reacting, you're observing. You're not chasing closure, you're building composure. And the moment you stop trying to win her attention, something powerful happens. You become the one who's in control. This isn't detachment out of bitterness. This is detachment out of mastery. The games only work on boys who need to be chosen. You've become the man who chooses himself. Number 4. Attention is the new currency. Every time you text her, stalk her page, or overthink a response, you're spending, not money, not time, something more valuable, attention. And in today's world, attention is currency. Where you place it shows what you value, what you prioritize, what you empower. And the more you give it to someone who's no longer investing in you, the more you bankrupt yourself emotionally. She might not have responded to your last message, but you watched her story. You were one of the first viewers. She saw that. She knows you're watching, that you're still in orbit, that you're still paying attention. That's all she needs. Not a full conversation, not closure, just proof that you're still available emotionally, even if she's not. But a Stoic man audits where his energy goes. He doesn't waste his focus on what doesn't feed his growth. He doesn't keep the door open for someone who already walked through it and didn't look back. He knows that every ounce of attention he gives to the past is energy stolen from his future, and he refuses to live in debt to someone else's indifference. Here's where it gets real. When you finally pull back your attention, she'll feel it. Not because you announced it, but because you've always been consistent, and now, suddenly, you're not. She'll wonder where you went, why the likes stopped, why the views disappeared, why the man who always paid attention now seems to be focused elsewhere. That's the shift. You're not proving a point. You're prioritizing your peace. You're not punishing her. You're preserving you. Because when your attention becomes rare, it becomes valuable. And that's when she realizes what she lost wasn't just a guy. It was the focus of someone who once gave a damn. Now, that attention is being redirected into your purpose, your body, your money, your discipline, and suddenly she's not the center of your world. She's just a chapter you outgrew. Number 5, you're not cold. You're calculated. They'll call you heartless, cold, emotionless. They'll say you changed, that you're distant, detached, different, and they'll be right, just not in the way they think. You didn't become cold because you stopped caring. You became calculated because you started protecting your energy. You stopped bleeding for people who wouldn't even offer a band-aid. She thought she had time. Time to explore her options. Time to figure things out. Time to keep you waiting while she played both sides. But that's where she miscalculated. She thought you'd be there, forever available, forever loyal, forever soft. But something in you snapped, and not in a loud, dramatic way. Quietly, sharply, internally. You hit a point where your survival instincts kicked in and your emotions stopped negotiating with your dignity. Stoicism isn't about emotional suppression, it's about emotional selection. You feel everything, you just don't react to everything. You're not robotic, you're focused, you're not heartless. You're done handing your heart to people who treat it like an option. You've learned to pause, to think, to respond, not react. That's not coldness, that's command. You no longer send texts out of impulse. You no longer refresh her profile to torture yourself. You don't get pulled into her games, her bait, her subtle tests. You see through all of it, and you stay still. That stillness, that unnerves her, because chaos expects chaos in return. And when you stop dancing to her rhythm, she starts to feel the absence of your presence. Calculated doesn't mean manipulative, it means intentional. Everything you do now is rooted in one question: does this align with who I'm becoming? If the answer's no, you cut it off. No hesitation, no explanation, just clarity. You're not the man she left. You're the man her ego didn't think you could become. Calm, composed, unavailable. And now that you're no longer emotionally accessible, she's realizing, maybe for the first time, that losing your heart was never the real loss. Losing your attention, your focus, your silence, that's what really hurts. Number 6, her curiosity is your leverage. She doesn't need to message you to be thinking about you. Curiosity is quiet like that. It creeps in during her downtime, when the notifications stop, when no one else hits the same, when your silence becomes louder than anyone else's noise. She won't admit it. She'll keep it cool. But she's watching, checking your socials, rereading old conversations, playing detective without ever making a move. Why? Because silence creates questions, and unanswered questions create obsession. When you cut contact, you removed the script. She doesn't know what version of you she's dealing with anymore. Are you over it? Are you seeing someone? Did you really move on that fast? You're no longer predictable. You're unreadable. And in a world addicted to updates, that's power. Because mystery pulls harder than familiarity ever will. Every story you don't post, every message you don't send, every signal you don't give, it feeds her uncertainty, and the human brain hates uncertainty. So she digs, scrolls, watches your activity like a private investigator, looking for cracks, clues, any evidence that she still exists in your world. But you've gone dark, and the longer you stay in the shadows, the more her mind fills in the blanks, and it never fills them in gently. That's when the dynamic flips. You're no longer chasing validation. She is. You're no longer wondering how she feels. She's wondering what you're thinking, because curiosity is the gateway drug. Once she starts wondering, she starts checking. Once she starts checking, she starts missing. And once she starts missing, she's vulnerable to regret. Stoicism makes this possible, because you don't feed her the usual signs. You don't post your pain. You don't react when she tries to bait you. You move in silence. You heal in private. You build without broadcasting. That's how you weaponize curiosity, by refusing to satisfy it. And the best part? You're not doing it for her. You're not staying silent so she wonders. You're staying silent because you're focused. She just became the side effect of your discipline, and that's what's driving her crazy. Number 7, kill the fantasy, build the man. She's not obsessed with who you really are. She's obsessed with the version of you she created in her head, the man she could control, the man who was always available, the man who needed her more than he needed himself. That version, he's dead. And until she sees that, she'll keep treating you like the same guy she walked away from. So you need to kill the fantasy. Not with words, not with a dramatic monologue, with action, with evolution. She remembers a version of you that was emotionally dependent, that placed her at the center of everything, that lost himself trying to hold on to someone who already let go. That man couldn't walk away. That man couldn't go silent. That man wasn't a threat to lose. But the man you're becoming, he doesn't beg for understanding. He creates distance so loud it forces reflection. You rebuild in the dark. You hit the gym harder. You invest in your mind, your money, your mission. You stop trying to prove yourself to someone who didn't recognize your value when it was freely given. That's not bitterness, that's clarity. You're not doing it to get her back. You're doing it because you finally realized you were the one holding yourself back. She won't believe it at first. She'll test it. She'll try the same moves that used to work. A little attention, a familiar tone, a flirty post designed to reel you in. But you don't bite, because this isn't a costume. This isn't a phase. This is who you are now. Stoic, still, strategic. She's not looking for the real you yet. She's looking for the old you in a new disguise. But when she realizes that version is gone, and not just gone, but replaced by a man she can't manipulate, that's when the regret hits. Because now she has to accept the truth. The man she took for granted evolved into the man she can't reach. You didn't just go silent, you went sovereign. And the moment she sees the fantasy die, she'll finally see the man she lost. Number 8, she doesn't miss you until you vanish. She didn't miss you when you begged. She didn't miss you when you explained yourself. She didn't miss you when you poured your heart out, hoping she'd see your worth. Because people don't miss what's still available, they only miss what disappears. And that's exactly what you did. You vanished, not to play games, but to reclaim your soul. In the beginning, she felt in control. You were right where she wanted you, accessible, predictable, emotionally invested, but then nothing. You stopped responding, you stopped reacting, you stopped chasing a woman who treated your presence like background noise, and suddenly something shifted in her brain. The security she once felt in your attachment, gone. That's when the panic creeps in. At first, she convinces herself you'll fold, that the silence is temporary, that any day now the old you will crack under the weight of missing her. But days pass, then weeks, and she starts to notice. You're not just silent, you're different, you're stable, calm, unreachable. That's when her memory starts working overtime. She remembers your voice, your energy, your loyalty. She replays the attention she used to get without earning it. And for the first time, it hits her. She lost something real. Absence isn't about being petty. It's about shifting the dynamic. When you were always there, she couldn't see you clearly. Now that you've disappeared, your silence has become a mirror, one she can't look away from. And in that mirror, she sees a man who didn't collapse, a man who evolved, a man who became more without her than he ever was with her. This is what Stoicism is about: removing yourself without explanation, rebuilding without applause, becoming so disciplined in your peace that your presence becomes a privilege, not a default. And when she finally realizes you're not just gone for now, you're gone for good, that's when the missing truly begins. Not because you forced it, but because you vanished like a king, silently, strategically, and completely. Number 9, you're not her backup plan. She never fully let you go. Not really. Even when she walked away, blocked you, or moved on to someone else, she kept a door open, quietly. In the back of her mind, you were always there, her emotional safety net, her plan B, just in case the new guy didn't work out, just in case her freedom felt more like emptiness, just in case she got bored and she thought you'd still be there, waiting, wounded, willing, but not anymore. You see it now. You were never her priority. You were her option, someone she could return to when the world didn't go her way. And that's the role most men unknowingly play. They wait. They stay emotionally available, hoping one day she'll wake up and realize he was the one. But that day never comes, not while she still believes you'll always be there. Stoicism ends that cycle. It draws the line that should have been drawn a long time ago, not with anger, with absence, not with noise, with silence, because when a man stops being available, he stops being an option. He becomes a standard. You're not waiting in the shadows anymore. You're not checking your phone, hoping to see her name pop up. You're not clinging to false hope, romanticizing what used to be. You're busy, focused, building, living in a way that doesn't include being someone's backup plan. That's beneath you now. And deep down, she feels it. That quiet certainty in your energy, that shift in your presence, that void where your attention used to be, it's undeniable, and it's irreversible. Because when a man reclaims his value, he doesn't settle for recycled love. He doesn't entertain people who only remember his worth once it's no longer convenient to ignore. So no, you're not her safety net. You're not a second chance. You're the man who finally saw through the illusion and walked away like he should have the first time. Number 10. You were the prize all along. She thought she had the upper hand. She thought walking away meant she won, that your silence meant defeat, that your stillness was weakness. But what she didn't understand, what she's starting to feel now, is that the man she left wasn't even your final form, because the man you are now, the man who rose from that heartbreak, that man was the prize the whole time. You see, when you were chasing her, you were giving her the illusion that she was the reward, that if you could just prove your worth, she'd finally see it. But the truth is, your worth was never up for debate. It was simply buried under your need for validation. Now that you've let that go, now that you've stopped trying to convince her, you've stepped fully into who you were always meant to be. She thought you needed her to feel complete, but now you're whole, and she's realizing she was just a temporary part of your journey, not the destination. You don't seek revenge. You don't even seek closure. You just keep moving forward with a quiet kind of power that makes people look twice, and that's what burns her the most. Not that you're gone, but that you're glowing without her. This is the Stoic man's truth. He doesn't just recover, he redefines himself. He doesn't just heal, he evolves. And by the time she recognizes what she lost, he's already become someone she can't reach. Not out of cruelty, out of growth. You were the prize, not because of who she thinks you are now, but because you've become the man who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't break for anyone who couldn't see his value the first time. The man who doesn't need her attention to validate his worth. The man who no longer needs to be chosen because he chose himself. And that is the version she'll never forget. Now you see it clearly. The silence wasn't weakness, it was the turning point. You didn't lose her. You lost the illusion that you needed her to be whole. That heartbreak? It was your awakening. You stopped chasing and started rising. You became disciplined, detached, and dangerous in your stillness. And while she's out there second-guessing, checking your every move, wondering why her name doesn't live in your phone anymore, you're already 10 steps ahead. Evolved, focused, untouchable. This wasn't about making her regret it. That's just a byproduct. This was about becoming the version of you who doesn't settle for confusion, who doesn't wait to be chosen, who understands that emotional control is the highest form of power a man can own. You've got that now, and no one can take it from you. If you're done waiting to be seen, if you finally remember who the hell you are, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, "I was the prize all along." Thanks for watching Stoic Blessing. I'll see you in the next one.